W-R-F, wonderful, Radio, Flanagan. Welcome to the show. Please rate this magnificent podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And now, here's the man himself, Mr. Paul Flanagan.
Yes, here I am, the man himself. I thought we'd go for a walk, and have a little chat. It's time for that chat. No, I thought we'd just go for a walk, and because we haven't done that in a while. I can't remember the last time I took you out for a walk down by the river for half an hour. But here we are, and it's one of those strange kind of weather days here in the UK where for summer in July it's actually sunny and warm, which is a rare day because it's actually been pissing down quite a lot recently in July 2021. Not to be confused with the Euros 2020 that have just finished, but let's not talk about football, shall we? It's probably not the best subject to bring up at the moment. But there's always next year, 2022 in Qatar. That's nasal sort of sticky stuff where we're allegedly going to play football in. So that should be an interesting one. And it's always good fun when you start to do one of these little podcasts like this, because you think that you're going to be all by yourself, and then all of a sudden there's some bloke in a car here. I mean, come on. He's probably doing the same, actually. He's probably sitting there doing a podcast going, so now I drove all the way here by myself, and just when I thought I'd be by myself, there's some daft bugger in a baseball cap walking along, talking into his phone. Anyway, it's great down here by the river. I'm down by the industrial wharf end. There's a huge big container ship called Lemonia. It's either Lemonia, which is like a French Lemonia, or it's Lemonia, which is the word for lemon in some foreign country somewhere. I'll go for Lemonia. Lemonia, I don't really know. But anyway, it's all moored up out there with its spring lines all taut. I know all about the sailing stuff. Oh, yes. I've sailed a yacht down from North Wales to southern Spain. I know about spring lines and how not to tie them, or how to tie them. It was good. When I was on that yacht many years ago, good old Bill who owned the yacht, we had a deal, and he taught me how to do spring lines, and I taught him how to do Morse code, listening to a radio direction finder, which is quite amusing because, he had actually got his master's certificate to sail the yacht in the first place, so I was slightly worried when he couldn't do Morse code. But anyway, he taught me spring lines, I taught him Morse code. We've probably both forgotten each things now. He's also teaching me ways to kill with a few fingers, because he's doing karate as well. Lovely fella. But so I'm walking, which way am I walking now? So the sun's behind me now. So in theory, I should turn the baseball cap round and have the peak protecting my neck like, these trendy people do. But I'm not trendy, so I can't be asked. So anyway, so how have you been? What have you been up to? I've been keeping up with all my wrf@mail.com emails. So if you haven't had an answer back from me yet, don't worry. It's been a long year. But if you want to get in touch with me, wrf@mail.com, and I'll be happy to oblige. You can ask any questions that you want. And if you're on the Anchor.fm app system, then you can actually ask a question, an audio question. You can make a comment or suggestion or do something like that. I don't get many of them, but yeah, they're always quite interesting. So you can send me a little audio thing. You can send me an audio message. You can send me a video message, stick it in an email, I don't care. But so I'm just clearing up the backlog, wrf@mail.com. So if you've not heard back from me, you'll hear from me soon. But it's a lovely day down by the river. It's humid as well. We have humidity going on. I know that in different parts of the world, like when we go to Texas, when I make my way to Texas every now and again, during the summertime, August time, the humidity can be humongous and ridiculous. And I know that those of you in other, tropical, subtropical parts of the world where the humidity is even worse. Well, we don't really get it that much here in little old England. So when we do, we have to complain about it because that's what we do. It's it's just a national pastime, Weather, bus stop queues, or pandemic. I think we've probably complained about the pandemic over and over again, but hey, what the hell? Let's not talk about that either. Let's talk about the future after the pandemic. When will that be? Nobody knows. So, change jobs then? Doing anything nice for the weekend? Dearie me. God, it's really nice here actually. I'd stop, but I'm on kind of like a walking trip out, so it's not kind of like a leisurely stroll, as it were. I'm not trying to do sort of particular mileage. I'm just trying to keep my my feet in trim. I took up the running last year, 2020, and I've had a few blips with that. Like swelling feet, for example, just the 1 foot, mind, not both feet, just 1 foot, and so that's kind of put the kibosh on some running activities. I went to see a physiotherapist, and he advised me to get a wobble board, not a Rolf Harris time, a kangaroo down sport wobble board, but a wobble board that you stand on and basically wobble backwards, like a wobble ball. You've seen these things in the gym, or kids get them to break their ankles on. Well, it's one of those things. But that wasn't really working out either. It actually caused me a little bit more pain, so I've jacked that in. But he's a lovely fella. I'll go and see him again in August sometime, and he'll ask me how things are going. I'll go, well, I'm walking, that's the main thing. God, it's warm though, isn't it? I think it's about 22 or 23 degrees or something, which, in your part of the world might not be warm at all. But for little old England, it's quite warm. And of course it could rain any minute now, because there's dark clouds on the horizon. What a great name for a band. There's dark clouds on the horizon. So we might suddenly find it's going to get pouring down with rain. Oh, what was that? And you got to watch out for like little insects and things, or slightly bigger insects in that case. Something just shot across my path there. I didn't know what it was. I've got my dark glasses on, so it was large enough to make a noise as it ran across in front of me. Let's see if I can get past these people up here. There's youths down here. You don't really want to pass youths when you're talking on your phone like this. And I'm holding the phone like they do in American movies. People never used to hold the phones like this over here. People used to just have them stuck to the side of the head and talking into them. Whereas now we do this thing where we hold the phone out in front of us, or some people even like hold it flat. It's like, what happened? Where did this come from? I'll tell you where it came from. It was imported from American television. I don't know who did it first, but they want their ankles and wrists broken or something like that. What is it with that? What is it with... You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just laying that flat like that. What is it? What's that about? For the purposes of recording, I just have to hold the phone up so I can keep an eye. That's actually recording, because as you might imagine, I have no script. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I can't repeat any of this again, even if I wanted to. Oh, now I'm about to enter a children's playground, which is, it's not a euphemism. I'm actually about to enter a children's playground, and so sorry about that. But I just, you kind of like can't be talking out loud too much, because it looks a bit strange. More stranger than a bloke actually walking through a children's playground. It's not my fault that the path along the river comes along the edge of this playground, but everyone's going. Oh God, everyone wants to leave at the same time that I happen to be walking through. No, leave me alone. It's all kicking off back there now. Oddly enough, it's all kicking off in the language of their choice. Anyway, I'm just out at the children's playground now, so we can all relax now. We can all breathe again, even if it is slightly humid. Oh, there you go. It's not often you walk around the bush and suddenly see, a dog having a... So now I'm heading off past the Wharf pub, I wasn't actually talking to you there. I was actually talking to the man who had the dog, who was actually having a crap on the other side of the bush where I was. You didn't need to know that. You can't see any of this, but I'm telling you, I walked around the bush and there was a dog having a crap, and there was a bloke who wounded. So that's why I said to him, it's not often you walk around the bush and see a dog having a... Anyway, English wasn't his first language of choice either. I think he talked to the dog in Polish or something. So we're now passing the Wharf Pub. You can Google this on the map. It's the Wharf Pub on the River Thames, Grays, Essex. It was empty, and now it's going to get refitted and opened sometime in August. It's going to be great. Oh, this pub is a listed building, and it's been closed for about a year or something, and now it's going to be under new ownership. Opened Friday the 27th of August. Brilliant. How cool is that? Well, it will be cool, because when I'm doing my walk and when I'm doing my run down by the river here, I'll be able to stop and have a drink. You know, obviously put the little recorder thing on pause, just so that it looks consistent. So it just looks as though I haven't stopped, and that just kept on going. Yeah, there you go. Past some more locals. Who's I think probably Russian, Estonian. It's difficult to tell. I'm not kind of like up to date on all my foreign languages for the residents of the locale, as it were. Got a bottle of water in the bag. I'll be dipping into that in a minute as well. So yeah, it's allegedly summer holidays time now, and of course here in the UK we're about to, next Monday anyway, July 19th, allegedly most of all the COVID restrictions are going to be removed. So there's a great debate over that, of course, because there's a Delta variant wandering around the country, spreading itself, and some would say not enough people are vaccinated, and some would say we should really hold off a little bit, because there's going to be tens of thousands of new cases and more people being hospitalised, and ultimately more people being hospitalised means more people dying. So let's review this in a few months' time, eh? Let's see where we are. Oh look, somebody's trimmed a hedge down here. That's quite nice actually, because it's on the path around by the river, but they just decided to leave it there on the path. I don't know if they think there's some kind of hedge removal service, but I should find out who it is and tell them. No, there's not a hedge removal service. Wow. So anyway, so you haven't changed jobs then? Well, that's okay. That new hairdo's quite good. You must have done it yourself during lockdown, eh? Yep. Scissors. Remember, everything's in reverse in the mirror, so you can't do much about that earlobe, but you can probably do something about the colour of it, though. Take it out, let it go back to what it was. Let it grow out. Just let it grow out. That's what they say, don't they? So you'll be red and blonde and grey, and then eventually all the grey will come back again, and everything will be happy. Yeah. Clothes as well, that's another thing. You've been either putting on weight or losing weight. See, for those people during the pandemic who've been going out exercising, we've lost some weight. So you've either had to buy new clothes or gone into the back of the wardrobe and got all the stuff that you thought you'd never wear again. And you did. Or, that majority of people, you sat there like a big fat turd, ate loads of sausages and pies, and then gone into the back of the wardrobe and dug out those clothes that you'd never thought you'd wear again. Here we are. So, no pictures involved in this, so you'll have to guess which end of the scale that I'm on. And it's been touch and go. It's been quite variable up until Christmas last year, when I was doing all the running and everything was hunky dory. Although running isn't it's not guaranteed that you lose weight. It just keeps you fit and gets your cardio going. There are better. The V-Shred system. Go on YouTube, look up a V-Shred, and there's these happy men and women who will tell you all about how great this exercise and diet is to get you sort of super abs and all that kind of malarkey, and it probably works as well, and it's probably much more efficient than going out running. But going out running's a laugh though, and that V-shredder thing does not look like a laugh. It looks bloody painful, and it looks like an absolute chore. At least when you go out running, you can say hello to your past people. You can join running clubs. I've not joined a running club yet. I don't know why. There are some around here, and you can do like virtual runs as well. So, although I'm loath to pay £10 to some organisation who will just let me track my, each 5 kilometre run on a map from Land's End to John O'Groats, and then charge me another £10 for a virtual medal to say I've run the distance from, Land's End to John O'Groats. Why don't I just do Land's End to John O'Groats? I'll tell you why. Because I've got a job. And I can't just do that and bugger off. That's why. So people have done that as well, virtual runs. So whilst I was being all fit and healthy, yes, kept off a reasonable amount of weight. And then over Christmas, a bad foot problem. 3 days over Christmas, I actually just sat on my arse and did nothing. And ate loads of food because it's Christmas. Not just because I was sitting down doing nothing, it was Christmas, and we had the associated Christmas foods: pork pie, cheese, chocolates, all the stuff I shouldn't be eating anyway. But still, I've just had all my bloods done over the last few months and this and that, and it's all good. So over the last 6 months or so, not so much running. So I'm kind of like in mid-range. I'm still wearing the thin boy clothes to a degree. Just don't ask me to go to any 70s discos or expect me to John Travolta my way across the floor or anything. As any kind of splits activity or rigorous rigorous trouser movements could result in something you don't want to see on video. Or people would want to see on video, but I wouldn't want to see on video. It's the kind of thing where you end up going into hospital and them having to remove tight white trousers when they're cracking your ass because they're stuck up there so tight. I'm just saying, that's all I'm just saying. I'm just visualising it, it's just not necessarily what's going to happen, but it could be that thing. So the whole idea of this walk when I come out is, this is normally roughly about a 5-6 kilometre walk, and I walk kind of through town and then cut back on myself and then walk back along the river, because it's usually nice and quiet, apart from some daft bugger ranting away into his phone. So here we go, nice and quiet. Now I'm still here. I was just giving you an example of nice and quiet. I'm probably spoiling it for myself, really. And the tide's kind of turning a little bit here. You can see the rippling effect on the water. It could be a sea monster about to emerge. Watching too many of these Clash of the Titan movies, I think. That's a great movie. Ray Harryhausen, the special effects guy. He died a couple of years ago, didn't he? Yeah, he did, yeah. Oh. Got somebody walking behind me now. Isn't it funny when you're on a big long promenade and then all of a sudden you realise somebody's walking behind me and you think, where did he come from? You just pop out of somewhere on some bloke running towards me as well. It's getting busy for an empty promenade. And it's getting windy, Still, I don't mind that. It's quite good. So, let me just rest against this lamppost and check my foot for a minute, because I've got a thing inside my foot. I don't know what that is. I think it's a stone or something. I'll be perfectly honest with you. There's not really a stone in my shoe. I just stopped so I could let that bloke walk by me, because he's just walking at roughly about the same pace as me, and I can't have him reporting back to his mates that there was some guy wittering to himself walking along the path. It's bad enough that I know that I'm wittering to myself walking along the path. I might actually make this before it rains as well, which is quite good. And then I've got to clear away the kitchen table, because when I'm working from home, which I have been doing, I have all my laptop and everything set up on the kitchen table. So sometimes I get a RJ free card from Mrs. F, and I'm allowed to push it all to one side and cover it with a cloth, and then just leave enough room to do the necessaries for making dinner with and stuff. Or sometimes I have to clear it all the way up and put it all out again the next morning. I think this is going to be one of these days, because I did actually say I'm going out for a walk and then I'll come back and clear the table again. Did you ever start to wonder that when you began to listen to the start of this podcast that there was actually any rhyme or reason for it? I haven't actually decided what I'm going to call this podcast. I think I'll call it No Rhyme or Reason. Brilliant. No Rhyme or Reason. What a great name for a band. I've done that. What a great name for an album. Still, it's all about getting out and enjoying yourself. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had a shit day at work. It was just shit. Everything was just like turning to shit all around me. And it was, I won't go into detail, but it was just not a nice experience. I just thought, I don't need this. Let's get out and get some humidity and toxic air into my lungs and walk down by the river. So I'm doing that. So I'm feeling a little better about myself, but I suppose I should stop that. I'm in a public place. So you've not changed jobs, you've changed your hair, you've got a strange set of clothes on, but as long as, are you feeling all right though? Because that's the main thing. You all these physical things, it doesn't really matter. How are you within yourself? And that's what we should be asking ourselves. We should be striving to be happy. That's what life's all about. It's not about money, property, or any of those materialistic things. It's really just about being happy. That's what it's all about. If you haven't worked this out yet, if you're a young person listening to this, let an older person tell you now. Life is about being happy. Seriously. Don't wait for years to go through tons of anguish over people, relationships, money, property, jobs, hair, clothes. It's not about that. It's just about being happy. Whatever makes you happy. And you'll find, although you might not want to admit it, or you might not be able to find people that you could admit it to, but the simplest of things actually make us all happy. Such as, I don't know, the laughter of a child. As long as they're not too loud and they're actually living somewhere else. Or, I don't know, classic Tom and Jerry cartoon. Not the new ones, the older ones, the Hanna-Barbera ones, the originals, with the maid in the kitchen. Thomas, is that you playing in the kitchen? All the original Tom and Jerry cartoons. Simple things. The wind blowing across the water. As long as it's not a typhoon, of course. But, so it's all that. It's all that kind of stuff. It's not I can say that because as you get old, you tend to get poorer, and you don't tend to have as much. So you kind of trick yourself into thinking, do you know what? I'm really happy just by sitting here drinking this glass of tap water on a park bench. So, on that happy note, I think I'll bring this No Rhyme, No Reason podcast to the end. I hope you've enjoyed myself, and I'll let Dave tell you the rest. Okay, cheers, bye.
You have just been listening to WRF Wonderful Radio Flanagan. On behalf of Mr. Paul Flanagan, I would like to say it's been jolly nice to have you here. Please do drop by again soon. In the meantime, if you would like to say hello, please email wrf@mail.com. Thank you and goodbye.